All right, everybody, it is Christmas Eve 2024 Diamine Inkvent Black Series. And here we are, the 24th, the second to last ink. And if my little history with the Inkvent calendars is any indicator, I'm usually a little underwhelmed by the ink that they use for the Christmas Eve ink. Just been my personal history. It doesn't mean anything literally. Anyway, so this one is salted caramel, and it is a shimmer ink, just a standard shimmer, not a chameleon. Oops, you can see it looks like a gold shimmer on there. It's still in the bottle, and you shake it up, get it into suspension. We'll do a little swatch of it, and then we'll ink up a pen. All right. Get it on there, and this is Clairefontaine paper. Lots of shimmer in this one. It's a very pale tan ink with a lot of gold shimmer. Okay. And today the pen that I want to put this in is an Opus 88. I got one Opus 88 this year. I have others. Let me pull a couple of them out here. And one little doohickey. Sorry, should have had all of these ready. But anyway, here we go. This is the one I got this year. It was a limited edition. It's a green Demonstrator. The Demonstrator model from Opus 88 has flat top and bottom. The original Demonstrator came out a few years back. This is it. Just a clear pen. Something that I found that was to me was a little odd about it is that it came with, a black clip, and you got black parts going on in here. This is what we call a Japanese style shut off or eyedropper, which means that you fill it by taking the section off, and then you drop ink into this barrel, and then it has this shut off valve that when screwed shut seals the ink in this part of the barrel from going up into the nib, thereby controlling things like burping and things that happen with eyedropper pens. Anyway, so this is the original Opus 88 that I got some time ago. I liked it enough that when the Omar came out, I got this one, which is essentially the same pen, just more beautiful, honestly. Beautiful materials, same large Yovo nib, and I swear that somebody at Opus 80 is tuning these nibs because they write fantastically. And then this is the Fantasia, which I believe is a discontinued model, which is just like a little bitty one of the same kind of deal. But as you've probably heard before, I really like green pens, and so when this green one came out, I couldn't not use it. And so we'll ink this one up, but I wanted to show one thing before we do that. One of the really neat things about this particular model, the Opus Demonstrator, and it's not true of all of their pens or all pens that use that sort of a nib unit. If you have a Pilot Parallel pen, you can pull the nib units out of them, which is the feed, the collector, and the what is essentially the nib, this metal part here, and it fits snugly inside the Opus 88 Demonstrator. And this is how I've been using this pen for quite some time. It's a fantastic calligraphy pen. I really like it, like using it like this. And the thing I was going to mention, that it seemed weird to me that this pen with the black clip has a silver polished steel nib. And why they didn't go with a black one, I don't know. But whatever. Now, because this is an eyedropper, you need to get an eyedropper. And the eyedropper that comes with these, and then one comes with them in the box. And I'm just backing this down so that when I do close this up, it won't be sealing off. Let me grab an eyedropper. And I think this one actually came from a stipula, but I can't remember exactly. But when we talk about an eyedropper, this is obviously an eyedropper. You squeeze it and then you drop ink into it, and that's how you fill these pens up. Now I'll need to shake this one up again because the shimmer will have settled to the bottom, as you can clearly see. Get it moving quickly. Get the eyedropper in there. Draw from the bottom. That was a nice big fill. Big gulp there. Pour the ink down in there. That half filled that barrel, which is enough for me right now. I don't need to completely fill it up, although eyedroppers do tend to work best when you do have them full. Because what happens is that the air inside this chamber, as you're holding it, will warm up, it will expand, and it will force ink out through the nib and feed, which is what we call burping. And then this one, because it just barely inked it, it's going to take a while for the ink to get from the barrel up through the section, and there's kind of a blank spot, clear spot right there where you can see there's no ink in it, or just a little bit in there. One other thing you can do with these the Opus pens is you can undo this plunger here and draw it back a little bit, and it will pull some air in through the section. But then as you push it forward, I don't know if you saw that, but it filled that part of the barrel with ink. And I'll just push it forward a little bit more, and it'll force more of it down into the section. And as I screw it down, it should prime the nib fairly well. Yeah, I was a little too optimistic with that, but if I were to do it again, I probably wouldn't. It would probably barf ink everywhere. I'll just touch it a little bit of it into the bottle here. Just touch the section down in there, or the nib. And on this one, as I was mentioning with the other one, it too has the black clip, but they put a black nib on it, which is nice. I'm glad that they color matched that. Anyway, so this is the Opus 88 Demonstrator. You hear it kind of sings. It's got a broad nib, and these broad nibs with the black coating on them, the coating covers the tip of the nib too, and it will sing like that. It will make noise. Even though it's smooth and writes well, it's going to make a little bit of noise. It's going to be a little bit scratchier than it would be normally until that coating wears off of the tipping of the nib. But it is a broad nib. And the reason I get broads is because I tend to grind them into italics and such. And the ink, of course, is Diamine. Salted caramel. For Christmas Eve 2024. It's just like the swatch would indicate, it's kind of a pale brown with a lot of gold shimmer. If you're into that, it's a great one. If you want a tan shimmery ink, personally, I would probably stick with Golden Sands, which was one of Diamine's first shimmer inks. That's a fantastic one if you want a gold ink. But this one isn't bad either, and I will see you tomorrow.